Hi, my name is Olivia, and today I'm going to be showing you how to solve a problem about adding fractions. The problem goes, Carrie and Jessica are making cupcakes for a class party. They are each testing out a different recipe. Carrie's recipe calls for 1 1/4 cup of sugar and 4 1/4 cup of flour. Jessica's recipe calls for 2 2/8 cup of sugar and 6 4/8 cup of flour. How much sugar is in both recipes? Total. How much flour? What is the total amount of sugar and flour in both recipes? So, now that we've circled all our important information, here, and here, we've underlined our questions, we can get started. So, we have sugar, and we have flour. So let's list the sugar and then the flour. So in Carrie's recipe, there's 1 1/4 cup of sugar, and just like this recipe, there's 2 2/8 cup of sugar. So, and flour, right here, there is, in just Carrie's recipe, there's 4 1/4 cup of flour and 6 4/8 cup of flour and just so now now we have to make the denominators equal because you can't add with uneven denominators. So 4 goes evenly into 8, so we can make all the denominators 8. So over here, so let's make 1 1/4 into 8 first. So 4 times 2 is 8, and whatever you do at the bottom, you have to do the top. So 1 times 2 is 2. So your answer for your sugar would be 1 2/8 cup of sugar. So now we can simplify the flour. So there's 4 1/4, but we've already simplified the 1/4 over here, and we know it's 2/8, so we can automatically go to, we know it's 4 2/8. So now we know that 1 2/8 is equal to 1 1/4, and 4 1/4 is equal to 4 2/8. So now let's add our sugar right here. So let's add our sugar. So we have 1 1/4, which is equal to 1 2/8. So we'll be adding 1 2/8 plus 2 2/8. So 2 plus 2 is 4, and the denominator stays the same, so 4/8, and then the whole number is 1 plus 2 is 3. So your answer for the total amount of sugar would be 3 4/8. Okay. So now that we've figured out that the answer to the total flour is 3 4/8, the total sugar, sorry, is 3 4/8, now we need to add to get the flour. So our answers for the simplifying, or the finding the common denominator, would be 4 and 2/8 plus 6 and 4/8. So we know that 4 plus 2 is 6, and the denominator stays the same, so it would be 6/8. And then 4 plus 6 is 10. So our answer for the total flour would be 10 and 6/8. Okay, so now finally we need to add these two answers to get the total sugar and flour in both recipes. So 10 and 6/8 plus 3 and 4/8 is, so to find that out we need to add 6 plus 4, which is 10, and then the denominator is the same, so that would be 10/8. So then we add the whole numbers, 10 and 3, so that would be 13. But now you can't have a whole number with an improper fraction because you can just make the improper fraction whole. So let's make that normal and correct. So 8 goes into 10 one time with a remainder of 2 left over. So the answer to just 10/8 to make it a whole fraction like this, it would be 1 and 2/8. So then we need to add 1 to 13, which would make it 14. And then 2/8 is the only one left because we already got rid of that one. So your answer would be 14 and 2/8. But we still need to simplify. So 8 divided by 2 would be 4. And 2 divided by 2 would be 1. So your final answer would be 14 and 1/4. So our three answers, so for the total sugar is 3 and 4/8, the total flour is 10 and 6/8, and the total of both is 14 and 1/4. So obviously to simplify these, you would divide that by, you could divide it by 4 to equal 1, and you can also divide 8 by 4, which would equal 2, so you'd have 1/2. So you have 3 and 1/2 for your simplified answer. And then to simplify 10 and 6/8, 8 can be divided by 2, which would be 4, and 6 can be divided by 2, which would be 3. So that would be 3/4. So your final answer for that one would be 10 and 3/4. So going over here now, our final answers are 3 and 1/2 for the total sugar, so for total sugar it's 3 and 1/2. For total flour it is 10 and 3/4. Yep, so that would be total flour. And For total both, it would be 14 and 1 4. So that would be the both. So those are your 3 answers to this problem. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.